could be alone between city lights. We don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, you guys? I'm trying to do the PewDiePie. You know PewDiePie? Like, I don't have the guts to go all the way back. I don't have the guts. B-Man FPV, that's right. I can no longer not wear pants during my live streams, although not that I ever did that, as far as you know. More cameras. Just put more cameras all over your house, right? That's what you do. What's up, you guys? Oh, see? Oh, hang on. Too much. Okay, that's better. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I'm doing the day. I'm going to date myself. I'm doing the David Letterman thing. You remember David Letterman? Do you remember David Letterman? Kids? Ask your parents. You remember David Letterman? All used to throw pencils at the camera. I figured to throw something at the camera. The GoPro will be fine. The GoPro will not be hurt. Oh, hang on a second, T-Score. You don't have to close out chat. Hang on. Let me pin that freaking shirt. Oh, geez, it's the beginning of another month. I missed November. There you go. The shirt is pinned. My Teespring shop is pinned right there. There's also Nightbot is going to be putting in the chat, the link in the chat. Letterman looks like a homeless person. Now, he definitely grew out the beard. That's for sure. He's not homeless, though. He's doing all right. Oh. All right, let's do this. You're good enough. You're smart enough. Kyle K. Craig Ferguson. Arguably the best late night talk show host Oh man, is he better than like Carson? I got to tell you, Carson was a little before my time. Like I was alive when Carson was on, but I never watched Carson. I mean, you can't take it away from Carson, right? You just can't. But Craig Ferguson, one of the best. Let's put it this way: one of the best interviewers. Craig Ferguson, one of the best interviewers in that sort of form factor. Just a fantastic interviewer. I would much rather watch Craig Ferguson do Joe Rogan's show than Joe Rogan. And don't get me wrong, I like Joe Rogan for what he is. I enjoy his style of interview. I don't think it's perfect, but I dig Joe Rogan. But if I could like flip a switch and have Craig Ferguson doing a 2-hour interview on Spotify every week instead of Joe Rogan, I would do that. That's not a slam on Joe. That's just Craig is that good. Craig is that good. He's good. He's just so witty and so clever and so funny. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So welcome to the live stream, where I will talk about people who are better broadcasters than me. Did you see Joe Rogan interviewed Kanye? I haven't seen the interview. All I saw was on Reddit. There's a post on Reddit that's like, after years of dissing Kanye, Kanye comes on Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan just sucks up to him for 2 hours. I'll tell you what. I do interviews. I do interview people. And I thought about that. Because it's easy to just speak your mind when someone's not sitting in front of you. And then when they're sitting in front of you, it's just courteous to take into account that they're sitting right there in front of you. And it is easy to just be polite the whole time and not say things that maybe should get said. And I thought back after seeing people like totally ripping on Joe Rogan for basically doing a 180 and just like soft pedaling Kanye for 2 hours. I thought, wow, it's, I think about that when I did my first big potentially adversarial interview was when I went to Fat Shark and I interviewed Greg French. And a lot of people were like, yeah, ask him why there's no power button on the Fat Sharks. That's right. Bardwell's going to take it to him. And I'm like, I'm not going to go all the way to China, go into this guy's office, and then doesn't mean there's a line between just going too soft and just being a jerk. And I don't know. I definitely don't. Yeah, it's tough. I was thinking of that because I've got this interview coming out tomorrow with Beagle Drone. I talked about it on yesterday's live stream. Beagle Drone is the company that sells like a ZMR 250 with Emax red bottom 2205 motors for $450. And I got to interview the guy. And I've just uploaded the interview. And it's going to go live tomorrow, so look forward to that. But I'll tell you, yeah, in 2020, that's right, Kyle K. I'll tell you, I went into that interview and I thought, that you got to address this. And I came out of the interview and I thought, this guy's heart is in the right place, which I did not expect. And then I thought, is that it? Is it just getting snowed as an interviewer? The guy comes in and you're like, hey, how's it going, dude? Yeah, it's all good. And you don't ask any of the tough questions. I asked a couple of the tough questions. Here's the real question. Welcome to the live stream. I just talk for 2 hours. No, I'm going to take your questions. Here's the real question. I feel like the right way to handle that situation is you ask the question and you get the answer. But then if you continue to, it would have to take an extraordinarily insincere or dishonest answer for you to keep digging. And then you let the audience is like, okay, that's the answer. And the audience, you're not idiots. If you say, how dare you sell a 5-year-old drone that should cost $80 for $450, and he says, well, here are the reasons why we do it. If I then go, well, that's a load of bullshit. It's not my place to say that's a load of bullshit. That's just rude. Because you can hear the answer and you can decide, is it a load of bullshit? But I got the answer. But I think a lot of people, if you don't then go, that's a load of bullshit, you're full of... Sorry for the cussing so early in the stream, parents. That's a load of BS, you're full of it. Get out of my studio. No, why'd you invite the guy in here if you're just going to, cuss at him and yell at him and tell him to leave? I mean, that's some people's shtick, but I don't think it's mine. Anyway, it's going to be very interesting. It's a very interesting interview. I think you're going to like it. Yeah, there's a fine line between being a jerk. Like when I interviewed Jeff Thompson in Puerto Rico, Red Cat. This was before he bought Rotor Riot. And people were like, why weren't you harder on the guy? And I'm like, look, I'm asking the questions. He's going to give me the answer. I'm going to show you the answer. And you can be hard on him in the comments section. And we'll see. But then you end up in a situation where, maybe you're... Anyway. It is posted to my Patreon already. That's true, Ciati. Thank you for pointing that out. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. This is what I got going on into my window here. Right here is your questions, which I've been ignoring for like 15 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm going to get to your questions. Hang on, I need to get my analytics up. 415 concurrent viewers. Holy crap. In just 5 more viewers, we're going to get to the magic number. Am I right? I'll be answering your questions here. Welcome to stream. I'll be answering these beautiful people. Wow. Do you know these special people over on my Discord server? These are my patrons. If you want to be one of them, you can sign up for as little as $2 a month. Link in the video description. Oh, we passed it. 424. Everybody put your joints out. Parents. Oh, man. I said crap. I just made a reference to marijuana. This demonetized. This stream's getting demonetized. Weirdo 5. Yes, VTX and VRX antennas are no different. They're totally switchable. They just have to have compatible connectors. And right down here are the super chats. If you would like to make absolutely sure, with almost 100% certainty that I don't miss your question, hit the $ right down here. Leave a super chat. I will get to it. But not right this minute. I'll get to it. Stick around. Stick around. Lawrence Martin. Lawrence Martin is your name. Martin Lawrence is a famous comedian. It's really distracting. David Gregorian, do you think Tracer is more future-proof than Crossfire? Define future-proof, David. I mean, I think that that's a tough one. That's a tough one. There will always be a place for Crossfire in the 900 megahertz long-range genre. People who want the longest possible range, 900 megahertz at lower frequency at higher output power, is the way to get it. There are things we don't know yet about Tracer and Ghost. How well are they really going to work in environments with lots of Wi-Fi interference? I know it's supposed to be fine, but now that we actually have product moving and people using it in real life, how well are they going to work? Are we going to suddenly find, oh, wait, there's Wi-Fi interference? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it's possible. So I think there's some unknowns. I think that Ghost shows that the hardware in the Ghost, and it's believed that it's similar or the same hardware in Tracer, although that's not confirmed. TBS won't confirm that. We know that Ghost can use different modulation methods that are supported by the chip to go from maybe a few kilometers to tens of kilometers with different latency. So I think there's no question that Tracer and Ghost can both go as far as a typical pilot would need, with the understanding that the truly long-range pilots are going to stick around with 900 megahertz, probably. So at that point, why wouldn't you just go 2.4? Why wouldn't you just go with Ghost or Tracer? I think it's too early. Both of them are too new to find out, because we don't know yet whether there are limitations. Like, some people who are using Tracer say, well, the range could be a little further. Maybe I don't quite trust it on some of the things I do. So I wouldn't say that it's time to jump right now. We may be able to say that in, say, 6 months or maybe a year, when a lot of the sort of birthing pains are sort of shaken out. I'm not jumping. I'm not ripping Crossfire at all. That's the thing. The other thing is, Crossfire at 160 hertz, right? Ghost at 222 hertz, Tracer at 250 hertz. They're all, maybe the latency difference between 160 hertz and or 150 hertz for Crossfire and 250 hertz, maybe that's noticeable. Maybe. So maybe that's a compelling reason to leave. Game of Drones wants to know, do you think most people will be flying under 250 grams 2 years from now? We got to see what Remote ID says. We got to see what it says. I sure freaking hope not, because 250 grams on a 5-inch is really not amazing. Phantom FPV says, you got to run that Tracer. Phantom, you switched over, dude? Have you switched over to Tracer? Happy Thanksgiving to you. Hope you're doing well. Have you, Phantom FPV, if you've switched to Tracer instead of Crossfire and you're like, oh my God, it's a big deal. Oh, he switched. He switched. He loves it. Yeah, would you try Ghost? Would you try Ghost? I tried to send Phantom a set of my motors to review. I found out why they were out of stock, man. It's because of the purple anodizing on the ring. There's apparently like one factory that can do. I mean, I'm sure there's more in the world, but they had like one factory that could do it, and it was a holdup. So guess what? I said, well, why don't we do like a blacked out special edition? Because everybody's like, hey, I like your motors, but I'm not a fan of the colors. Not everybody. Some people say that. So I was like, well, we'll just do a black version. So keep an eye out. Nah. I'm pretty sure I put that order in. I'm pretty sure GetFPV has like $100 of my money waiting to send you motors. I should look into that. Maybe get that refunded. I'm pretty sure I placed the order. Anyway, in December, the FAA is expected to release the actual ruling, and we'll find out what is in it. Jolly Monster FPV, just got my Xylo build. Yeah, they changed the camera on the Xylo build to the Micro Mutant, and it was the cameras were burning up on 6S. So you got to change it to the 5-volt output on the video transmitter. Welcome to the live stream, Chris Moo. First live stream I've seen. Time to see what the is all about. All right, this is it, man. JB Xylo kit with Vista House FPV. I would like to do that. I think it would be very people would be very interested in it. In fact, I thought I was waiting for GetFPV to send me something to make that happen. I should check in on that. I don't know. I'm crazy busy, and just it's impossible for me to prioritize anything. I really want to get my perfect freestyle build updated, so hopefully soon. Let's do some super chats. Super chats are ringing. Dustin Gilbertson, thank you for a $20 super chat. Very much appreciate that, man. Carlos Botros, thanks for a $5 super chat. Shout out to Race Day Quads for the lawsuit against the FAA. And shout out to JB for his amazing Patreon and Discord server and his amazing work. Well, I didn't say that. You did. Thank you, Carlos Botros. Scott Abramacek. Thank you for $5. LED lights with lights on each arm. How are routing the wires? How do you get the signal wires to one LED pad? Scott, the way that LED strip works is if you wire all the wires like back to the same pad in like a Y configuration, in other words, the strips are in parallel, then all of the strips are programmed the same. So in other words, you couldn't do the front arms are red and the back arms are green. Now, if you're okay with that, then wire them all back in like a Y configuration to the same LED strip pad and you're good. If you need to address them individually, you have to run them in series. So from the LED strip pad to the DI, the input pad on one LED strip, from the DO, the output of that one, to the DI, the next one. And what that means is that you have to route the wire up the arm and then back up the arm to the next arm and then back up the arm. It's stupid how you have to wire it. So if you really need that, then it's kind of a pain. FPV Noob wants to know, what rules do you think will be added? Well, FPV Noob, we know the proposed ruling, but we don't know if they actually changed the ruling in response to our comments. Like, in theory, maybe there's some exemption for under 300 feet operations, or I don't know. I would love for that to be true. I don't think it's going to be true, but I feel like we have to wait and see until we find out. And then the lawsuit will happen, and who knows? And then the real question is, will a whole bunch of people just keep flying illegally and no one will care? And then the real question is, how about this freaking guy in Philly who got hit with $180,000 in fines? So then, could that be you? I got to tell you, as I have thought about how remote ID is going to play out, I've thought, what are the potential outcomes? And one of the potential outcomes that I've considered is you just keep doing what you do. And chances are you're not going to get fined. And then if you do get fined, well, I've talked to people who have had FAA fines against them. There's not like a ton of those people out there, but most of those people are not allowed to, under the terms of their settlement, they're not allowed to actually talk about some of the details of what happened. So I'm not going to name names or name amounts, but the amount of the fines was, I was like, okay, I'll tell you what. Well, here's maybe this is what I'll do. I'm not saying this is what I'll do, but just all the options. Maybe I'll just keep doing my thing, and one day if I get a fine, I'll just put some money in the bank and just consider it a cost of doing business. And then if I get a fine, then maybe I'll have to think about maybe I'll just keep doing what I do. But $180,000? That's not just like, cost of doing business, unless you're making millions of dollars, and I am not. Have you heard about my Patreon? So, that being said, I've heard rumors about this Philly guy who got the $180,000 in fines. Some of the people I've talked to say he was getting warning letters from the FAA for months and ignored them all. Like that this is not just that the FAA came out of no, and I don't know if that's true, so take that with a grain of salt. But the FAA, the story that I'm hearing is that the FAA did not just come out of nowhere with $180,000 in fines. And that's consistent with what I've heard from other people. The way that it usually works is you get a letter and the FAA says, we have received a report about something you did and you are being investigated. Please give us a call. That's pretty consistent with how it usually goes. And you call in and they say, hello, my name is Bob Smith. I'm an FAA investigator. We're wondering about this time. You posted a video to your YouTube. This actually has happened. You post a video to your YouTube channel. The YouTube channel's monetized. I looked you up. You don't have a 107. Did you know you need a 107, sir? And you say, I don't know. What do you say? Probably you should just shut up. You could be like, oh, that's interesting. And then typically they'll say, well, look, you need to get a 107. Will you please maybe put a note on your video saying, hey, everybody get your 107. They have generally been pretty cool about it. I mean, we know that Paul Nurkala got fined for the train flight, so obviously sometimes they fine you, but it doesn't seem like the FAA just came out of nowhere and hit this guy with $186,000 in fines. That doesn't seem like how they usually operate. So, anyway. Josh FPV, I use an airspace app. When I fly, I use, what the frick is it? Not before you fly. Don't use, I mean, before you fly is okay, but before you fly doesn't have things like, it doesn't have all the restrictions. I use AirMap. Always a good idea to check AirMap before you fly. So, Carbon Cage FPV says, yeah, he was getting warned by everyone. Yeah. So, what did he do? He was flying. He had a YouTube channel. He didn't have, well, we're going to talk about, you know what? We're going to talk about it on the news. I'm not going to take the whole live stream talking about this, especially because I spent much of the live stream talking about it yesterday. Tune in 6 p.m. tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern for the news with JB and Blunty, and we are going to talk about this, and we'll get some ideas. But he was flying without a 107, and he had a YouTube channel, and his defense was, I'm not a pilot, I'm a comedian. See? I'm not a pilot. I'm just a comedian who flies a drone for my YouTube channel, which is monetized. You need a 107 there, buddy. Okay. Anyway. Michael Blade says, yeah, he absolutely got letters. So, I mean, like, I can't decide how bad to feel for the guy. Because on the one hand, $186,000 is enough to just ruin everyone's life, unless you're just, I mean, even if you're incredibly wealthy, that's still a slap in the face. But on the other hand, when you're freaking getting letter after letter after letter from the FAA, and they're like, hey, dude, call us. Hey, dude, call us. Hey, and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to do what I want. It's hard for me to feel too bad for you. Like, I don't know. What's your logic there? Anyway. Well, the thing is, these rules are draconian. The government doesn't have the right to do this, and people should not comply with these. Okay. Hey, look, you want to be an activist? More power to you. More power to you. You don't want to be an activist? I completely understand that as well. I will not disparage anybody who chooses to follow the rules. I will not, I will admire people who choose to fight the rules. But simply flouting the rules is not fighting them. It's not like this guy is some kind of activist who's going to change the rules by breaking them. And then the FAA comes and smacks him down. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, that logic, I wouldn't apply that logic to other laws that I might feel like, you know, people doing in the civil rights movement, doing sit-ins at a lunch counter. And, you know, the cops come with fire hoses and dogs. I mean, I would be like, those guys are heroes. I mean, I would hope I would be like that. You know, those guys are heroes. Yeah, they don't deserve that treatment. Why don't I feel that way about this guy? Good question. Good question. Oh, you can think some more about that. I feel like there's some I feel like there's maybe some parallels, but also some differences. Let's not go too far with that analogy. Who posted the evidence? He posted the evidence to his own website. He just to his YouTube. Anyway, let's keep doing the super chats. I'm so far behind on the super chats. Sean Powell, thanks for a $5 super chat. Lawrence Martin, thank you for a $5 super chat. Can we have a DJI controller and a Tango 2 controller both connected at the same time? No, you can. You can connect them at the same time, Lawrence Martin, but you cannot use them at the same time. So you would have to go into the ports tab, and you would only enable Serial RX for one of the UARTs. The Tango would be on one UART, the DJI would be on the other UART, and you would switch the UARTs in your ports tab. You could do that. Colin Renault, thank you for a $2 super chat. Best Cinewhoop that can carry a Hero 9. Colin, I got to tell you, there's so many companies out there making Cinewhoops right now, and many of them are good. But it's hard for me to argue when you ask the best. Doesn't it pretty much have to be Andy Shen's design? The Squirt, and now there's the new one, not the Squirt. It really has to be Andy Shen's design, right? Isn't that what the pros fly, pretty much? So, I mean, that's got to be it. Can you talk about your expertise as an engineer? Thank you for $5 super chat. Hectectica. What were some projects you worked on? How has that experience translated into FPV? Let me be clear. I was not a capital E engineer. I was not a certified engineer. An engineer is a thing with a legal sort of professional definition, and I was not that. My boss put the word like Wi-Fi engineer or network engineer on my business card. I like to say it was a little e engineer, not a capital E engineer. I designed Wi-Fi networks. Some of the most fun things I did involved putting up point-to-point microwave links. I got to climb a water tower once. Just climb the ladder all the way up to the catwalk of a water tower. Like, it was 212 feet to the deck. I remember that number well. It was a long climb. It felt long to me. I got to go up in some man lifts every so often. I was up in like a 75-foot boom lift with a union guy who was the driver. He was the driver. I was the passenger. I was installing some antennas. And I was like, okay, this one's done. We got to go over there. And boy, he didn't even put it into turtle mode. He just started driving. I was like, is he not going to like lower the boom? No, that takes too long. So we're up there. We're going 15 miles an hour. Dung, dung, dung. He's like, hold on. That was fun. How did it apply to FPV? Well, the thing is, RF is RF. So I have a lot of experience with radio frequency stuff. And of course, that translates over. Colin Jones, thanks for a $10 super chat. Left this super chat 10 minutes before the stream started. It's now like 40 minutes later. When the gyro, I hope you're still here, Colin. When the gyro overshoots the set point at the end of the move, is that too much PD or not enough? Colin, are you still here, dude? Well, I think he's still here. I just tagged him. Hey, he's here. Thank you for your $10 super chat, Colin. The answer to that question can't be answered without looking at black box. Because I guess D is not likely to cause overshoot. Excess D will not cause overshoot. But excess P and excess I can both cause overshoot. Now, Betaflight does a pretty good job of controlling I-term overshoot in Betaflight 4.1 and 4.2. But the real answer is that you can't know without looking at the black box and looking at what the PID terms are doing and which one is driving the overshoot. Now, usually overshoot and bounce back, what you're going to find is that is excess P gain or insufficient D gain. The D kind of holds back the P. So those two things, what you'll see is that the P term will drive you into the overshoot and the D will be opposing it. Dominic Clifton is here. Welcome, Dominic. Always good to see you, man. Nick T, I do have a ham license as required by law. No, I do have a ham license. KM40TN. So the answer, Colin, is it's usually, if there's overshoot at the end of a move, it's usually too much P or not enough D, but it could be other things, and only by looking at the black box can you know for sure. Let me get a couple more of these super chats out of the way real quick. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Thanks for a $5 super chat. Switching from the DJI controller to... Oh, did we already answer this? Switching from the DJI controller to Crossfire. Can I leave all the wires and just disable Serial RX in the ports? Or do they need to be disconnected? Nah, you can leave them. Just don't use the same UART for two different things. Holy crap, Dominic Clifton is planning what to do next with his life. Wait, are you still making flight controllers, Dominic? You're not shutting down SP Racing, though, right? You mean like in your personal life? Oof. He says JB currently. Oh, even new job. Interesting. SP Racing. Are you seriously shutting down SP Racing and starting a new company? Wow, that's huge. That's huge. I'm just reading his chats now. That's a big announcement. He is not. Okay, no. He says no. Okay, he's not shutting down SP Racing. Phew. I said, are you shutting it down? And he said, JB currently. He's not shutting. Okay, do not start that rumor. What's the beta flight situation, Dominic? Arctic Ice Quad, thank you for 55 Norwegian kroner. Hi, JB. Suggestion all-in-one flight controller for the Catalyst Machine Works Smooth Operator. DJI 5-inch 6S, okay, with 26.0 Smooth Operator on 5-inch 2806.5 motor is way overkill. It's super overkill. You do not need a 2806. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if 2207 is like where 2207, 2306, maybe 2306.5. I definitely feel like before RPM filtering and some of these other things that we've got, in order to control prop wash, you needed a very torquey motor. 2407, 2208 were good places to be. I'm kind of starting to wonder if that's still true. If 2207 and 2306, 2306.5 are enough for a 5-inch prop, they can fly. Like, I have these freaking Sidoras with the freaking Zing E motors, and they're not big motors, and they fly really well. 2806.5 Arctic Ice Quad is way too big for a 5-inch. You have so much weight, there's no point to that. I thought those are 7-inch motors, so don't do that. Look if Dominic Clifton. Oh, he's banned. I see. You can't contribute to beta flight. I see. They banned you. Yikes. I see. So what are you gonna do, Dominic? Are you probably not ready to announce it? I'm just trying to. Yeah. I know Dominic Clifton's been working with the Flight 1 team, contributing to them. There was a falling out with Dominic and some of the Betaflight devs. It's, the Betaflight devs they're known for being so friendly. They are not known for having big disagreements with people in the community, banning them from their GitHub and so forth. So it's really surprising. You must be a real jerk, Dominic, for them to have gone to that length. All-in-one flight controller for the Smooth Operator. Which one is the Smooth Operator? It's not the Banggood, it's the Smooth Operator. I mean, is there a special thing you want for the Smooth Operator? Oh, I know. It's because this frickin' thing is so thin. That's right. The Smooth Operator is super thin. Kakute. Holy Bro Kakute F7. But why do you want an all-in-one? An all-in-one implies that you're putting ESCs on the arms. You can't put ESCs on the arms of the Smooth Operator. They're too thin. So something doesn't add up about your question, Arctic Ice Quad. I don't think you should use an all-in-one flight controller for this build. I think you should use a 4-in-1. That's what it's designed for. Fernando da Silva. The negative pad on my T-Motor ESC came clean off after a crash. She done, man. In theory, sometimes when you lift a pad, you can scrape back the solder mask and solder to the trace. But for the negative pad on an ESC, it has to carry 100 amps, 150, 160 amps once you lift that there's no saving it, man. It's just done. I'm sorry. I don't think there's any way to save that. Fernando Silva, RIP your ESC. Chris Cameo, thank you for a $5 super chat. Could you go over your all-up weight guidelines? What's ideal for a 6S freestyle build? My personal feeling is that for a 5-inch build, a weight of around 750 grams is the heaviest that I would really ever want to go. Down around 700 grams. I'm talking about with a GoPro, although weight is weight, but if you can get it, like if I just build a 5-inch quad without thinking about weight, it's going to, with a Hero 7, not a Session, with a Hero 7, it's going to come in around 750, 770 grams, and I'm not going to like how it flies. If you can get the weight down closer to 700, it flies way better, way better. Getting it below 700 requires a lot of thought and work. Now you start having to make compromises, like you might go to a 20 millimeter ESC or flight controller. You might start getting lighter weight motors. You really start thinking about it. You start taking steps. You can get it down closer to 650. And then there are guys who build 5-inch freestyle rigs down around 600. I feel like you have to do... I commented about this to Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele is famously picky about the weight of his quads. And I said to him, yeah, I built this 700-gram quad. I thought it was lightweight. I posted a picture of it on Instagram. And the comments filled up with people saying, that's not lightweight. I have one, it's 650 grams. I have one, it's 600 grams. Oh, yours isn't lightweight. And he was like, yeah, you can get them that light. I was like, you like lightweight quads. Why are your quads as heavy as they are? He's like, yeah, you get them that light, but then they start breaking all the time. I was like, yeah, thank you. Mr. Steele agrees with me. So those are some weight guidelines. I feel like the ideal weight for a 5-inch freestyle with a GoPro is between 650 and 700. Just because I would take it lighter, but you have to make a lot of compromises. I did mean 100 amps. Yes, I did, Philip Merritt. You'll on a typical 5-inch quad, you could easily pull 150 amps on a full throttle punch. Easily. I totally meant that. Why do you think the ESC is rated for 60 amps? 60 amps times 4, 240 amps. I mean, you may not pull that much. Ben T, thanks for a $10 super chat. And Evil12, thanks for a $2 super chat. Any difference between the Ratel 12K TV line and the T-Rex 15K TV line? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, if one's rated 12K and one's rated 15K, usually manufacturers just pull those TV line ratings from the datasheet of the sensor. So to me, the fact that one's 12K and one's 15K suggests they are not using the same sensor, but I don't know that for sure. Be aware, Caustic FPV. Caustic FPV says, oops, I put a 45 amp ESC on mine. Caustic, be aware that is the continuous rating. The surge rating is going to be higher. So your 45 amps is fine. I mean, there's guys out there who say, oh, I like an 800-gram quad. There's guys who like them thick. There's the famous FPV pilot, what's his name? Sir Mix-a-Lot. He famously wrote a song about how he likes his quads. And there's guys who fly 800-gram quads and say it's great. I mean, it's different. Personally, I like them. I like my quads a little lighter. Dominic Clifton wants to know if I have a review of the Beast H7 55 amp all-in-one yet. I do not. I should put that in a build and just beat the crap out of it and see if I can break it. Simon Saucy, I agree. A heavier quad throws better. The problem is it turns worse. So a super light quad, you go to fling it and you drop the throttle. And as soon as you drop the throttle, wind resistance just slows it down immediately. So a heavier quad, you can fling it. But the problem is that you hit the throttle to fling it and the battery sags and it doesn't accelerate. So I think the decrease in flight time is one of the big things about heavier quads that I dislike. Just every time you touch the throttle, the battery's like, oh, I can't do this. So then you put a bigger battery on it, and it's like, oh, now it's even worse. The other thing is that a lighter quad will decelerate faster in the corner so it can change direction quicker. Quadcopters don't have brakes, right? So what slows a quadcopter down when you go into a turn? Like, think about how a car takes a turn. In an automobile, a race car, as you go into a turn, you brake. As you reach the turn-in point, you turn in. And then as you reach the apex, you begin to accelerate, and you accelerate out. You have to decelerate to make the turn. How does a quadcopter decelerate when it goes to make a turn? The same physics apply. Well, they don't have brakes. They use air resistance. And the problem is that when you get to ultra lightweight quads, that works. When you get to ultra lightweight quads, that works fine. When you get to heavier quads, they just don't decelerate for a turn, and so you have to brake. You have to get off the throttle earlier. This is also true for the ultra aerodynamic top speed quads. These ultra aerodynamic quads, they corner like crap because they don't slow down. So Dominic Clifton says, jam that throttle down and drift. I mean, that is a way you can do it. You could try to turn into it. Anyway. Heavier quads do fling better, but overall, I will take a lighter quad. Akira says the Apex with an air unit and a Hero 8 is 788 grams. Yeah, that seems about right. What's the lightest quad I've ever flown? Well, I mean, I've flown a tiny whoop, but I don't think that's what you're asking. Probably the lightest 5-inch quads that I've flown have been race quads, such as the ones built by Vanover and so on. I can't think of, whose exact quad I've flown, but those guys get the race rigs down in the, I don't know, 550. They'll get the race rig because they're not carrying a GoPro. They got 20 millimeter electronics. They got everything is lightweight. They're down easily under 600, I think. And you can freestyle those quads, and you're like, oh, these fly really good. I feel like somewhere between 600 and 650, you might start going, I'm not sure I like this. But you're not going to get there by accident, though. You're not going to get down to 650 on a 5-inch by accident. What kind of props do you recommend for a 750-gram freestyle rig? Tommy Brickler. Tommy, I recently went through this with the Catalyst Machine Works Bang God, with a DJI Air unit and a GoPro and my 2407 motor, so it was not a light build. It came in around 800 grams all up, and it cornered like crap. Like Dominic Clifton said, I would have to just kind of dig into every corner and get on the throttle and kind of slide through the corner, and I didn't like it. I solved that problem with the GemFan 51499 prop. It's such a high-pitch prop, it just has so much grip that it kind of fixed up the cornering. The problem is, though, that then my battery life just was terrible because it was such a high-pitched prop. It just takes a lot of... You can't get something for nothing. Pretty fly for a white guy. FPV is correct. In the Discord, race quads freestyle well until you crash them on concrete. Yeah. Race quads do not have the durability of freestyle quads typically. Matt Dell says, I'm frozen. Reload that stream, buddy. Reload that stream. James Nona, I'm not sure if you're joking or serious, but I think it's an interesting question. What type of drone can I use for 24 hours without fuel? Well, check this out. Check this out. You guys ever heard of this? This is a company called Elistair, Elistair.com, and they make tethered drones. Tethered drones. And what's the point of a tethered drone? Let's see if we can find a video. Here we go. I'm not going to play their audio, but surely they're not going to copy strike me for showing their ad on stream. Check this out. Get the drone! So it carries a cable and it's connected to a battery on the ground and it goes up in the air. And then it's basically just like a watch post, right? Or maybe it's carrying an antenna and it's doing communications relay. But it just sits up there. And it can sit up there because it's not carrying the battery. The battery's on the ground. Yeah, it can fly for like, this company says it can fly for like 24 hours. I'm literally showing their commercial on stream, Siati. This is a free plug. I don't think I'm going to get a copy strike for this. I hope. Please don't copy strike me. Anyway, so if you really want to fly for 24 hours without refueling, tethering is one way to do it. It's actually a really big challenge because the weight of the wire itself comes into play. So they use these like crazy lightweight wires with batteries on the ground. A lot of times they're autonomous. You'll also see this same technique used sometimes. I've seen drones that carry a little microfiber wire behind them for going into buildings. Anyway, Leo Pont says you can do it with lasers powering the drone from the ground. Those are powerful freaking lasers, though. Sounds like Crisps wants to know, do the DJI FPV goggles support switching between OSD profiles? Sounds like Crisps, I can't... Were we talking about this before? I was talking to somebody who was saying they don't work. Now, the DJI goggles are just reading the OSD from the flight controller. So in theory, if you change OSD profile and the flight controller changes, you would think that the DJI would also update. But I have heard other people saying that it doesn't work. Does anybody know? Can anybody confirm whether the DJI goggle works with Betaflight's OSD profiles? I haven't tested this. David Gregorian says, do you think 5149 prop is too much for a 2550 kV 4S? I mean, it just depends on what you want out of it. Well, you said 2550 kV, but you didn't say the size of the motor. A heavier prop will do better on a larger motor with more torque, if you care about handling. Running 5149 on a 2550 kV motor is pretty high RPM for that prop. I think that's going to be pretty hard on your battery. I think that probably wouldn't be ideal. That's a 2306. Yeah. So I think that's a recipe for short flights unless the quad is super lightweight. FPV Noob wants to know, is a 2508 1700 kV motor good for a 6-inch prop? My gut feeling is that that's also overkill. Like, I think for 6-inch props, you can run 6-inch on smaller motors like 2306 or 2207. I feel like if 2306 and 2207 are great for 5-inch, and 2806 is great for 7-inch, then 2508, oh shoot, we got to do some calculations. 2806 is 28 divided by 2 is 14 times 6 times 3.14 is 263 millimeters squared volume. And 2508. 25 divided by 2 times 8 times 3.14. Okay, so that's a bigger motor. 2508 is a bigger motor than a 2806. Yeah, it's wider. It's narrower but taller. So I think 2508 is overkill, FPV Noob. I think it's overkill. I think I feel like for 6-inch, maybe you want to go up to a 2208 or a 2407, but you don't want to go much bigger than that. That's my gut feeling. Sergeant G, you're not going to get me again, my friend. Sergeant G, thank you for a $10 super chat, but you can only get me once. You know what they say, fool me once. They got a saying in Texas. I know it's in Tennessee. Fool me, can't get fooled again. Fly High TV, thank you for $2.79 Canadian dollars. Can you say hi to Danik Petrin? He's a fan. Hello, Danik. How are you, man? Jan Booth, thank you for a $5 super chat. What's your opinion about the new 96K ESCs? Is it a gimmick, or is it likely to be more common in the future? Jan, here's the problem with high PWM frequencies and the fix. The higher the PWM frequency of the ESC, the less torque the ESC has, the less torque the motor has, especially at low throttle. When you're blasting out the RPMs at high throttle, you tend to have a lot of torque regardless. But at low throttle, the high frequencies have a lot less torque. So a lot of people are experiencing, especially on Betaflight 4.2, UAV Tech tells me that it's because they changed the D-term defaults. They have a lower D gain by default, and it's causing this. You see a lot of people having low throttle instability. And one way they're fixing that is by turning down the PWM frequency on the ESCs to increase the low throttle torque. So by that argument, a 96K ESC is the worst because it's going to have such lack of torque and lack of stability at low throttle. But the smoothness of the higher PWM frequency is real, and freestyle pilots especially really like that smoothness. So what can you do? BL Heli has a beta feature that has dynamic PWM frequency. So at low throttle, it might use 24K. At high throttle, it might use 96K, and it'll scale the PWM frequency between them. And that really excites me. Now, to be fair, I'm told that KISS has done this for a while and more. So this is going to be one of those situations where BL Heli does something, and because it's sort of public what they're doing, it's not open source. BL Heli 32 is not open source, but they document what they're doing and talk about what they're doing, and they're like, hey, here's this new cool thing we're doing. Check it out. Whereas KISS is, at least in my experience, KISS is kind of like, we're awesome. Don't ask, we're not going to tell you our secrets. I don't know. Maybe they'll tell me the secrets. So, I think right now, I would not be in a hurry to use 96K PWM. I mean, I'd give it a try. There's no downside. And I would give it, but I think you might have low throttle instability problems. Brandon RC is working on an underwater drone. Time for epoxy, he says. That's a common way to waterproof electronics, is just pot them in epoxy. Brandon, am I remembering right that when you first joined my Discord server, you got a Vanover quad? Did I send you the Vanover quad? I think I sent you a Vanover quad as a giveaway, and then you crashed it into a pond, and then like some firefighters got it out. Am I remembering that correctly? Is that you? That's him. Yeah, okay. Oh, that was, yeah, he won. He joined my Discord server. Very shortly after he joined my Discord server, he won a giveaway. And there was this quadcopter. Vanover had this quadcopter. It was during a Rotor Riot shoot. And he was like, this quadcopter is just disappointed me. It's messed up. It's not flying right. I'm tired of it. I'm going to get rid of it. He was just frustrated. You ever just wanted to throw your quadcopter in the trash? Well, I was like, don't throw it away, man. Give it to me. I'll do a giveaway. Somebody will love it. He's like, it's beat to hell. I'm like, no, trust me, somebody will love it. So I kind of badgered him into doing a giveaway. I actually felt a little bit bad about it later because I don't like badgering people. So I did the giveaway. Brandon won this quad from Vanover, and Brandon, if I remember right, you put Vanover's quad into a little display box. Yeah. Okay, I do remember right. So he put Vanover's quad in a little display box, which just proves that I was right, that someone was going to love this thing. So this is Vanover's actual quad that Vanover was pissing him off, and he was going to get rid of it. And then he built one just like it. You built one just like it. And like the very first time he took it out to fly, he crashed it in a lake. And then he got it back. The firefighters helped him get it back. Anyway, cool story, Grandpa. Doghouse FPV, play the McSplash video. What's the McSplash video? Is this the actual crash? 30 seconds in. Make sure there's no music. Or Ciati's got me paranoid about copyright strikes now. I can't play any music. Oh, here it comes. 27, 20. Oh, what's going on? Oh! 30 seconds in. Where's the crash? Oh, there it is. Bye! Wait. Is this intentional? Is this a drone? Oh, this is a drone that can fly underwater. This is not Brandon's crash. Oh, boop. It's back up. Oh, isn't that nice? McSplash. Brandon RC. Oh, is this your project? So, Brandon, are you telling me inspired by that? You've built a drone that can now fly underwater? Holy crap, dude. This is such a great story. This is such a great story. Oh, that's amazing. Pretty fly for a white guy. It is not my birthday. I don't know where you got that, man. Jared TG723. How does one do that? I assume you mean fly underwater. Well, you better go ask Brandon. Here's the link to his channel and his video. And, FPV Noob says, I have a 7-inch with 2508 1700 kV motors, but not sure to get 7-inch or 6-inch props. I feel like those motors kind of want 7-inch props, but if you put a 6-inch prop on it, it'll probably be okay. Carlos Alberto Gonzalez Peñalosa. When will you be reviewing the 5-inch shocker? Greetings from Colombia. I got to tell you guys, my schedule is so effed up right now. I feel like it is. I feel like I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing on any given day. It's because the weather has finally turned crappy here in Knoxville. Today was our first snowfall of the year. It's not going to stick. It's not going to be beautiful for Christmas or whatever. It's just going to be like, just every day is cloudy and rainy and snowy, and maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just having some winter blues, but I don't know. You can look at my editorial calendar. There we go. This is my editorial calendar. It's on my website, fpvknowitall.com. It especially right now, do not take any of these dates. Like the Beagle Drone interview is coming out tomorrow. But especially right now, don't take any of these dates as firm, because like I feel really scattered with my schedule. I'm trying to keep it together. But this is, where's the shocker? Is the shocker on this list? I've pushed it out. Yeah, so it's currently the week of the 7th, but it's all in flux, man. It's all in flux, so you can keep checking back, but don't read too much into it, I have to say. Brandon says he is actually an underwater robotics software engineer, so I didn't know that was a thing. There you go. Now, my birthday's in January, so it's not quite my birthday yet, but it will be soon. Imperial RC Works wants to know, can someone throw me the link for the Discord? The Discord is one of the few things that I reserve for patrons only. So you can join my Patreon for as little as $2 a month, or, more if you feel like I've earned it. Don't, just whatever you think is fair. And there's a link down in the video description below to join the Discord, the Patreon. And when you do, you get the link to the Discord. Philip Merritt, the Attitude V6 is not off limits. Yeah, there's another product that people really probably should review. I'm just like, wow, right now. Attitude V6. Here's the deal with the Attitude V6. The Attitude V6 from Fat Shark is $350. It has a... God, if there's only a way to get the information I need. Like a freaking website that has it. The Attitude V6 is 1280 by 960 resolution, the same as the HDO2. If I do, what happens if I do this? Oh, look at that. The head camera is still on top. 1280 by 960 resolution and 39-degree field of view. Extremely respectable specs. It only supports 16.9 HDMI. That's pretty annoying. I wasn't sure about that or whether that was... I wasn't sure whether that was my mistake. No, this is confirming it. That's a shame. It only supports widescreen HDMI. So if you're buying it for SharkBite, you have to use widescreen mode. I mean, otherwise it'll be stretched. That sucks. But the resolution is great. The field of view is good. It's an LCOS display, which is not the best. OLED is the best, but it's okay. And it's $350, and it's a Fat Shark goggle. Now, compare that to the not the EV300O. That's it. It's not going to be here, is it? No. So compare that to the Eachine EV300O. No, Skyzone. Sorry, Sky030. My bad. Compare that to the Skyzone Sky030. It's sold out at this moment, but it is available. I believe it's still available places. $400. I've seen it as low as $379. No. Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? There you go. Canada Warehouse. So here's $367. The Skyzone Sky030. Very comparable in price to the Fat Shark. Now, what are the specs? Okay. Hey! Banggood. Who's this guy? Why is he at the top of the list? What? That is not acceptable. I will be writing a strongly worded letter. It's almost as if not being the first guy to bring the video out has consequences. Where's the dang specs? 35-degree F field of view. So smaller field of view. That's noticeable. 1024 by 768 resolution. OLED. So that's the big question. Would you give up the worst specifications of the Sky030? 1024 by 768. Yeah, that's a 4:3 resolution. To get the OLED screen. Boy, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. Well, I guess you got to decide for yourself in a sense. Of course, Fat Shark has amazing customer support. But I feel like that's the competition for the Attitude V6 right now, is the Skyzone Sky030. If you get the Sky030 for the same price as the if the Sky030 was $400, I would be thinking about spending $50 more on the Eachine EV300O, which is a banger of a goggle. But if you could get the Sky030 for close to the same price as the remember the Attitude, you might end up buying a module. Well, the Sky030 doesn't have a module bay either. Yeah, that's tough. I have to do a video about it. Hopefully this has inspired you to think about some things. Jakob says the Discord is not $2 from foreign individuals. 10 USD subscription from Northern Europe runs $12.50 USD each month, as you get a mandatory VAT tax on top. Jakob, Patreon gave me some options to like indicate. They think that you're getting like a taxable item, and there are some settings you can do in Patreon, which I did, to try to tell your government that this is not a taxable thing. But at the end of the day, it's up to your government to decide whether they tax your Patreon subscription. And I think I've done everything I can do to prevent the VAT from being applied, at which point now it's just up to your country and they're charging the VAT. Suffice it to say, I don't get the VAT. I have no control over it. It just is what it is. Taxes are just what they are. Mr. Dragon, thank you for a $5 super chat. Do you recommend the Hummingbird from Newbie Drone yesterday? But they're on pre-order. Do you have a second best? Hummingbird Pro? Is that also on pre-order? Mobula 6. Mobula 6 is very, very good, except that it's happy model quality, which is sometimes hit or miss. But it's not too expensive. I think it's very good. It flies very well. Tony RZ, or Toady RZ, thank you for 200 ARS. Is that Argentinian pesos? Argentinian peso. Heck yeah. Argentine peso. Thank you for 200 Argentine pesos. My GTR 349 with the accelerometer calibrated and the endpoint set, hovering, it starts to drift to the left more and more to the point where I cannot control it. Toady, I have bad news for you, my friend. There is a bug in Betaflight that affects some flight controllers. And unfortunately, there isn't really a fix for it. Random FPV, I found out after I made you a moderator that you're not the random FPV I thought you were. So I'm taking away your moderator status. No offense. I don't actually like if you were to like start deleting messages or something, I'd be, anyway, no offense. I just thought you were a different guy than you were. So, sorry. Now I've called you out on channel. I was hoping to like make myself look dumb. No, that was supposed to be self-deprecating, but now I've kind of called attention to it. Now it's still happening. I mean, there's a dude who lives in Knoxville who goes by Random FPV, and I thought you were him. But then after the live stream, somebody was like, no, that's Random FPV with no space. This guy is somebody else. They were like, he's cool. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, I didn't mean to. I don't want to just like hand out moderators. Anyway. No offense, dude. Sorry. Anyway, continuing on. Tony RZ, there's a bug in Betaflight. It's called accelerometer drift. What happens is that the accelerometer just drifts and drifts and drifts, and you have to hold to the right. And then when you power cycle, it just goes back. To being normal. Siadi, hey Siadi, so I meant to tell you. I was going to tell you in private, but I'll just call you out on the live stream. Yeah, Siadi, I'm taking away your moderator too. I didn't realize you were. I thought you were a different Siadi. Yeah. I just didn't want him to think he did something wrong. Like, he was there, and I was like, hey, Random FPV, good to see you. I'm not making it better. Surely that's not the first time he's been confused for the other Random FPV, right? Right? Okay. Let's move on. You know the rule. When you're in a hole, stop digging. Random FPV, I'll send you a t-shirt as an apology. Hit me up an email or something. I'll send you a t-shirt. I'm serious about that. I'll send you a t-shirt or something. A hoodie or a t-shirt or something. It's an apology. Cody RZ, the answer to your accelerometer drift is usually to replace the flight controller. I'm sorry about that, man. Catherine, thank you for a $5 super chat. Hi, Joshua. This is so awkward. Thanks for your videos. I just tuned the PID governors on my first scratch build to buttery smoothness in no time at all. Well, I appreciate that, Catherine. You really ought to start watching UAV Tech's videos because he is actually really way better at PID tuning than me, but I'm glad my videos helped you. Josh Villa. I'm going to go with Villa because they're Australian dollars. Review for the Hawkeye Master, cheap analog to DJI mod. Hawkeye Master. I don't know what that is. What is the Hawkeye Master? Oh, Master Edition display. Okay. What do you mean? Has this got... AV in for DJ. Oh, I see. This got AV out? Is that the idea? That this has got AV out and you plug it into your DJI goggles? Yeah, but is it a good receiver? If it's a crappy receiver, then you don't want it. I mean, it's fine for spectating, but if you're going to use it with your DJIs, I would want a proper module. Oh, I'm zoomed in here. Sorry, guys. All right. Sergeant G, thanks for $5 super chat. The kid from Colombia wants you to review the 5-inch shocker. Please help a fella out. I will get to it. I cannot keep up with my own freaking schedule. Never mind everybody else's schedule and their desires. The Dark Knight, thanks for a $5 super chat. Which frame can hold a DJI Air unit and an Insta360 1R for the purpose of making the drone invisible? That's a good question. Because the limitation on an invisible drone is the thickness of the camera. That's why one reason when the Insta360 1X2 came out, I thought, well, this is not good for FPV. That's why I haven't reviewed it on my channel. Let's put it, they sent me one. They were like, Insta360 was like, hey, we got this new, yeah, we loved your review of the Insta360 1R. And we got this new 360 cam coming out. Do you want to see it? I was like, sure. And they sent it to me. And this is what they sent me. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a really cool freaking camera. Like, just, it's so, like, nicely built and form factor, right? So, I was like, but this is not, like, how are you going to put this on your drone? The 1R is a really good camera to put on a drone. And if you think about the invisible drone, the invisible quadcopter situation, the thinner camera actually is worse because it gives you less room to hide the drone. So I haven't reviewed this because I was like, I don't know how this sort of fits in. And I mean, I could just do a camera review, but I just wasn't feeling it. Anyway. So the DJI Air unit, I feel like it's thinner than the Insta360 1R, but not by much. Vaughn Wilson, I know about Corridor Digital Ren's invisible drone. He uses the Insta360 and he splits the sensors. And that's okay, but it does make for the closer together the sensors are, the better the 360 stitching effect is. Apparently, Paul Nurkala flew the Insta360, but he didn't fly it as an invisible drone, did he? I don't think so. Scott Abramczyk. I think that's how you say your name, Scott. Thanks for a $2 super chat. Did you put out custom tunes for your JBF7? Scott, that question kind of doesn't make sense because a flight controller doesn't have a PID tune. A quadcopter has a PID tune. The number one thing that drives the PIDs are I would say the motor and the motor KV and the prop, the sort of responsiveness of the motor and the thrust of the prop, as well as the weight of the quad. So there's no such thing as a custom tune for a flight controller. And when people say, this flight controller has these PIDs and this one has these PIDs, if they're talking about the same quad, I'm a little skeptical. Not 100% skeptical, but a little skeptical. Like, it's possible that the gyro, if two flight controllers have different gyros, then they might need slightly different filtering and maybe different D-gain. But for the most part, the tune is going to be driven by the motors. Twisted Seed says, thanks for the invite to Discord. I never got the invite. Do I get a refund for my subscription to Patreon? Okay. I mean, you can cancel your Patreon anytime you want. I would rather you didn't. The invite to the Discord is in the confirmation email that is sent to you after you subscribe to Patreon. However, if you didn't get that, you could just message me. You could message me on Patreon. You could email me. You could say, hey, dude, I didn't get my Discord invite. Can you help me out? Or, you know, if you feel like it, you could just cancel your, you could just message me and say, hey, I didn't get my invite. Can you refund me? And I will refund you. It is completely up to you. I am happy to help. Imperial said it apparently in the YouTube chat. Yeah, dude. Absolutely, Imperial. You don't have to... yeah. I never got the invite. Do you get a refund? I mean, if you... I don't know. Whatever. Just message me. Message me on Patreon. I'll send you the invite. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Oh, now you're tagging me. Oh my god. All of this because you didn't get you didn't see the invite link in the confirmation email, which you definitely got. All right. Dog Life says refund then block. I have done that. I have done that. There are a few people that I was just like, you know what? This guy's not my patron anymore. I'm not doing that now. But I mean, really, the live chat of a live stream is not the place to take care of customer service issues, is it? The chances of me even seeing your message are so small. Whereas if you email me, I will answer. Almost certainly. Crunked. Oh, Crunked was one of those guys. Oh, you are. Yup. You right, Crunked. You're still in the live chat. Crunked was one of those guys. It's true. He can... yeah. No. Crunked came up in the moderator chat just the other day. The moderators were talking about someone who was kind of being a butt. And someone else said, hey, remember Crunked? They're like, yeah. I don't even remember why you got booted, Crunked. I honestly don't. I do remember that you got booted, and you're not welcome back. I mean, you brought it up. This is the awkwardest live stream ever. Nick S. wants to know, how would you rank the different types of content from Rotoride episodes to live streams? Do some videos let vendors off the hook for creating documents? Nick S., it's an interesting question. I feel like if vendors were better about creating documentation, my content would not be in as much demand as it is. And that's fine with me. I do respect the folks who go out of their way to make good documentation. Like iFlight, every time I do a review of iFlight, of an iFlight quad, I have to remember, and sometimes I forget, and I feel bad about it. iFlight has a help desk website, and actually iFlight, Patrick Byers, who does tech support for iFlight here in the United States, he's always like, hey, we got don't forget to mention that we got the knowledge base, and they got a Google Drive with all their configs and documentations, and they have a lot of info here. So it's really cool when a vendor goes out of their way to do it right. Are vendors off the hook for creating docs? I know for a fact some vendors do rely on me. They'll just be like, hey, go watch this JP video. Or sometimes I get an email and they're like, such and such a vendor told me to call you or message you. And I'm like, really? So I just am tech support for you. Okay. Hey, it's a living. It's a living. Imperial RC Works, let it go. Imperial RC Works. I'm not going to post the link in the chat because the link is for patrons only. If you message me on Patreon, I will give you the link. There's no need to keep it up. You didn't get the link. Shit happens. Life goes on. There's no reason to be pissed about it. Just be like, hey, bro, didn't get the Discord link. Would you mind getting me that? Message me on Patreon. I will give you the link. There's no reason for it to be anything more than that. Except now it's super weird. But let's just let it go and move on. Anyway. Beard Tech, thank you for 100 Mexican pesos. Working on the Shendro Nutmeg, and I'm not sure the best KV motors to use. Right now I have 1404 Brother Hobby 4000 kV and 3600 kV motors, but I think both are overkill, and 2800 to 3200 kV would be best. What you didn't tell me your battery voltage though, man. That's the problem. So 3600, 3800 kV for a 3-inch. I assume your Shendro Nutmeg is at 3-inch. Shendro Nutmeg, I think, is 3-inch. I mean, from a 1407 motor, I would think. 2-inch. Is it 2-inch? No. What? Oh, I see. It is. It's a squirt size powertrain. I think it's a 3-inch. Oh, wow. Look at those props. That's not a 2-inch, is it? What size prop is on the Nutmeg? 95 millimeter. Andy Shen suggests 1407 motors. That says a lot. I would probably go with whatever Andy says to use, because it's his frickin' build. Dan Christie, thanks for a $5 super chat. This stream is a real Curb Your Enthusiasm vibe. We are in stitches here. My life has a Curb Your Enthusiasm vibe. I identify with Larry David quite a lot. 4-inch or 5-inch props cut down to 53 millimeters. How much is 53 millimeters in inches? That's what my girlfriend asks every day. I don't have a girlfriend, I have a wife. It's 2 inches. Okay, so it's a 2-inch prop. I feel like for a 2-inch prop, maybe 4,000 kV. Yeah. Well, he's running 1404, Ciati. Andy Shen says 1407. The thing is, Andy Shen surely knows what he's talking about, right? I know, I'm confused too, Ciati. So I feel like for a 2-inch, I feel like for a 3-inch prop, 4,000 or 3,800 kV would be fine on 4S. 2,800 kV would be fine on 6S. I feel like going down to the smaller prop, if anything, you would want higher kV. So I think assuming you're talking 4S, 4,000 kV is fine. Ciati says Andy Shen is wrong. He's screaming into a pillow. What would you suggest, Ciati, for that build? Oh my God, Ciati's going to say Andy Shen doesn't know motors. Now I feel like mommy and daddy are fighting. Moving on. Tyler Harris says FreeSky R9 was on sale for $10 this weekend at Cyclone FPV. Was it worth it? I mean, a $10 receiver is exciting. Was it a receiver or was it I mean, the thing is with FreeSky R9, if you don't like FreeSky's shenanigans, you can always flash Express LRS to it. And Express LRS is widely thought to be quite good. Sebastian Gramano, 14 size motor for 2 inches. Isn't that too much? I mean, I agree, but like you can clearly see here, I mean, maybe this is a miss. Not every single one of Andy's designs is good, is awesome. Like sometimes his designs are like, well, I tried this interesting thing and it didn't work out. What I would suggest you do is read the build log. Because maybe there's some design constraint here that we're missing, and there's a reason he went that direction. Like, one of the things he says is that there were no suitable props in a T-mount form factor. So maybe the reason he's doing these motors is because he doesn't want a T-mount prop. And this is the smallest motor he could find. I really don't know. Yeah. So you should probably read this build log, and maybe we'll find out why he did what he did. I agree, it's pretty weird. $10 for the FreeSky JR module. Wow. I mean, it's worth a punt for $10. I would give it a try. Oh man, I'm so behind on chats. Let me make sure that I'm not going to be missing any chats. Coelho FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. Sergeant G, thanks for a $5 super chat. I did say 5-inch shocker. Thanks, Catalyst Machine Works. Beard Tech, got you. Scott Abramachik, thank you for $2. How to tell antenna strength. DBI number. Scott, antenna gain refers to how focused the antenna is. So a higher dB gain it's like the difference with a flashlight between like a wide angle and a spotlight. So a higher dB it's stronger if you're inside the beam, but if it's pointing the other direction, it's worse. So for a quadcopter, I almost always want the lowest gain antenna I can find because it is the most spherical, the least focused, and that means that it is not sensitive to changes in the quad's orientation. Dan Christie, thanks for a $5 super chat, $5 Canadian dollars. We got you there. Imperial RC Works, thanks for a $10 super chat. Tin Lei, thank you for a $10 super chat. Eric Toft, thank you for a $5 super chat. Prepayment for all the Crossfire videos I'm about to enjoy with my newly arrived Micro TX2 starter kit. Enjoy the article in the AMA mag, by the way. Oh, is the AMA mag out yet? I have an article there about Crossfire and Ghost. Twisted Seed, thanks for $10. Thanks for starting a riot in your live stream. Sorry, bro. No problem, man. It's all good. It's all good. Everybody's having fun. Right? At least we're not talking politics. Morlaco85, thank you for a $5 super chat. Hi, JB. If you're about to buy your first transmitter, what would it be with a $200 budget? That's a really good question, and I have just the video for you. Wait 1 second. I'm still going to tell you the answer, but I'm going to also point you to this video, which goes a little deeper. Where's the first controller bit video? Yeah, here it is. I'm going to paste you this link. Morlaco. There are a few that I would consider. One is the TBS Tango 2. It's a gamepad style and it has Crossfire built in. You can add 2.4 gigahertz support with a multi-protocol module via a modification. And it costs about $160. You have to add the price of the module, but the quality of that radio is very, very high for $160. Not everybody likes the gamepad style radio though. Personally, I like the bigger radios with the bigger screens and more switches. And I would steer you towards the Radio Master TX16S at that point. Those are two that you could consider. Check out the link that I pasted in the chat if you want to check out some more. Okay. Yeah, Twisted Seed. Twisted Seed is the first live stream he's made in months, and he almost started a war in my chat. It's no big deal. Will we be seeing a JB review of the FPV Cycle 30mm motors? I'm not talking... I'm so overwhelmed right now with reviews. I don't know. It's so stressful for me right now when people say, are you going to review this? Are you going to review that? I kind of just want to not review any more products ever again. I mean, I'll get over it. But I kind of just want to build a quadcopter or a flyer. I don't know. It's the winter blues. I feel like reviews are often. I feel like reviews. I don't know. A lot of time I feel like reviewing a product is I'm doing it because I feel like I should, because it's a product that people are interested in, and at the end of the day I work for the viewers. But if I'm, like, if I'm not like super excited about the product, then it's work and it's stress. Why am I not excited about the FPV Cycle 3030 motor? I don't know. Maybe I am, but right now, just product reviews just make me want to go, oh, I don't want to do any product reviews. I'm still going to be doing them because, like, obviously, But I definitely am pushing back on product reviews, products being offered to me for review a little more than usual. Like, I really enjoyed the 4-inch long range roundup. I really enjoyed getting to fly this new different type of quad. But then at the same time, it took me like 2 months to go through all of them. And then it's like, oh, we review this one. Like, I just constantly am getting messages from people wanting me to review more of them. And it's like, okay, now I'm done. Oh, but I didn't get all of them. I've left some people out. Is that fair? No. Oh, anyway, I feel bad. Starjumper says, do showcases. Like Linus Tech Tip. Linus Tech Tip distinguishes between showcases and reviews. And they'll do showcases, which are kind of like unboxings. But I am not sure that would be a good fit for my audience. Because, like, I am really well known for in-depth reviews. That's part of the problem is, on some level, I feel like every review has to be freaking epic. And so it's a lot of work. Yeah, Me Drone says Albert Kim will review all of them. I don't know how he does that. Like, on some level, I see Albert Kim, and every week, every day, there's a new product and he's reviewed it. And I'm like, how can he possibly do a thorough job reviewing that many quads? And I don't know. I mean, his viewers are happy with what he does. But, like, I could not. There is no way. Just every day I would be, like, just kind of crapping out a superficial. Like, I've seen some videos, and I watch the video, and I'm like, you're just reading the specs page. Hey, everybody, this is the new camera from such and such. It's so-and-so TV lines. It's got these resolutions. It's got the blah, blah, blah. And done. Here's some footage, and done. And I'm like, ugh. I don't know. That's not where I want to be. I'm not calling him out specifically. Yeah. So I find that if I'm not interested, if I try to sort of fake it through a review, like if I'm not actually enthusiastic, I often end up making mistakes that then compromise the quality of the review. Whereas if I'm excited about it, then I do a good job. So anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to review. There's all kinds of shit. I have more stuff on the shelf that I still need to review. And yeah. We'll see. Thank you to Diesel Girl for a $10 super chat. Towards a vacation. Unfortunately, that's not how YouTube works. I can take a vacation, but I still have to keep posting content. So if I were to take a vacation, I'd need to bank 2 weeks worth of content. So anyway, yeah, YouTuber problem, just YouTuber problems. Travis Simon, thanks for $2 super chat. Also suggesting I take a vacation. Yeah, you're right, Starjumper. Starjumper says, you said before that sometimes you get a lot of stuff that's basically just like copy-paste to the same thing. But Bob Rugi's 30mm motor is legitimately like new and different. Maybe there's something there. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Something actually interesting. Yeah. Right, Caustic. Caustic FPV says it's because your opinion carries so much weight. Yeah, that's also why I don't like. Also, let's bear in mind, Linus Tech Tips has like 5 presenters on staff. I'm just me. But yeah, the showcases. I'm not sure how you reconcile. Like here, we're going to do a showcase. We're going to showcase this product, but then like the fact that a video carries so much weight and can tank a product if it's a bad review, then I kind of like want to make sure that if I'm going to say any, like I've done off the cuff videos where I'm just like, here's a new product. Yeah, I think my review of the iFlight, the Titan XL, the 7-inch, no, the 5-inch, the Titan XL5. I had that. I wasn't super excited about reviewing it because I thought it looked heavy. I like one day I was like, just fly it. And I flew it and I was like, nope, it's heavy. And then I compared it to a much lighter quad and was like, see, look at the difference between them. And I was like, there, you know, there we go. Just kind of like not an in-depth review, just an off the cuff. And then like I thought, well, you know, now I've basically just said this is a bad quad and I don't like it. And I didn't even really give it a full fair, like when I do a full review, I will always start with the neutral stuff and the good stuff. That's usually how I do it. Not always, but usually. I'll be like, here is a product. Here's like just talking about it. Here are the things I like about it. And then here are the things I don't like about it. And then a conclusion. But I always want to start with the neutral and the good stuff. But if you just do an off the cuff, then sometimes you're just like, here's this product and I don't like it and it sucks. Goodbye. And then then I hear that like the sales are now, it's dead. I killed it. I didn't mean to kill it. I don't know if I killed the iFlight, but so anyway, I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, new product roundup. Exactly, Starjumper. New product roundup, which by the way is coming up this week. New product roundup and giveaway. The whole point of the new product roundup is to give me the flexibility to just be like, look at all these new products. Aren't they interesting? And just do that once a month without having to review every single one of them in depth. Yeah, that's the structure. I thought the Titan was too heavy. It's super durable. Okay, it's super. So it's heavy, but it's durable. I don't know. That's the thing. Like you pick it up and you go, here's my first thought. Okay, done. But then you don't have any of your other thoughts, and then you maybe haven't been fair to the product. So I don't know. Game of Drones wants to live in that trailer in my yard. Unfortunately, that belongs to my wife. It is her trailer. I once joked about putting it on Airbnb and letting people come fly at my property and live in the trailer and, you know, make a little side income. And she was like, that's my trailer. If you want people to come stay on your property in an Airbnb, you buy your own trailer. And I was like, oh, good point. So no, Game of Drones. If you want to come, you have to ask my wife. Caustic FPV, I think you're onto something there. Caustic says the difference is everyone wants to know, should I buy it? And with Albert Kim, it's more like, here's the specs, make up your own mind. And I do feel like that's a little more his style. He's a little more dry and a little less editorial, just pure information. But like I've thought, well, what if I did videos more in that style? And then I'm just like, I feel like I'm kind of copping out. I'm not saying that he's copping out. That's just my self-talk. I'm like, if I just get a product and I don't think about it and try to think about all the different ways that people will like and dislike it and then get that into the review and like help people figure out who is this for. If I just get a product and go, well, here's the specs, you know, you decide for yourself. I don't know. I feel like I've let myself down. But the flip side is then I like freaking stress about reviews and stuff. So Lawrence Martin loves the Titan XL5. Thank you for $2, Lawrence Martin. See? That, if I'd have done a full review, maybe it would have gone into it. Anyway. Nick Burns. Yeah. Crazy Frog wants to show up at my house with a food truck. Yeah. Thanks again, Nadizo Girl, for another $10. Thank you. It's very generous tonight. Sometimes people on radio take a break by bringing in guest hosts for a week. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'd probably take a week off before I did a guest host for a week. Maybe. I mean, I have looked at the Linus Tech Tips model. I've been watching a lot of Linus Tech Tips lately. I don't know why. I go through phases. And they have like 4 or 5 presenters on staff. So on any given day, Linus may not even be in a video. And I've thought if you had people who could make videos, but it's very hard to have people who make content, not just high quality content, but also content that resonates with your audience. So it's tricky. Blunty seems to have gone over well with my audience. So Kyle K, you're going to let Ciati host again. Ciati jumped on a lot. He hosted when I was out of town one week. He did a live stream in my spot. I like Ciati a lot. I just went flying with him this weekend, in fact, and I support his channel. I feel like my audience didn't respond well to his vibe. There were some, yeah, I guess I don't need to go deeper than that, but I thought that wasn't the right way to showcase him, is to just give him my time slot on my channel. So XJet's here. XJet definitely should be a moderator. XJet definitely should be a moderator. Hey man, how's it going? You're just in time for the end. I like Ciati. Yeah, I think he makes good content. He does curse too much. I mean, Ciati just has a different style of stream. He has a very sort of off the cuff stream. Yeah, a little bit of a different stream. It's just what your audience expects. That's the thing. It's what your audience expects. That's one of the things I took from the Terrence Howard video. Like, on some level, I thought this is weird and this is different, but it's interesting because there's this, celebrity cachet and the amount of money involved in the contest. And I think coming out of it, there was one of the things I took from it was that if you're a YouTuber with 200,000 subscribers, your audience, you can't assume, like if I was to say, hey guys, Tom Cruise is coming on my stream, it's not a given that my audience would rather watch Tom Cruise than my normal live stream. You come here because you want to see my live stream. You go watch Tom Cruise in a movie theater. And I think that was an insight that came from that Terrence Howard video, that if maybe I should have put it in a different time slot so there wasn't this expectation, or it didn't feel like you were getting something taken away from you. But it's easy to think, well, sure, I'm a YouTuber with 200,000 subs or 5,000 subs or whatever, but like there's this other person out there who's like a major celebrity. Surely everybody would be more interested in them. And that's not actually true. That's not actually true. That was an insight. Geo Fairbanks says Ciati entertains me, but man, his streams are long. I think Ciati's trying that whole, do the grind. He's doing long live streams because he's trying to make it past that grind to where you get that sweet YouTube money, that affiliate money. Caustic FPV says, I love you, Ciati, but there's something very entertaining about so much failure in a stream. Yeah, there is something entertaining about watching someone try to do something and fail repeatedly and get frustrated. I've had streams like that. How does Ciati have an infinite bag of giveaways? Ciati, where do your giveaways come from? Do you get those from vendors? Do you put those up? Moto FPV wants to know, how do you get sponsored by FPV company? Well, let's do something actually helpful. How do you get sponsored? What do they look for in pilots to sponsor? Moto, I love that you put the question that way, because most people who ask about sponsorship say, how do I get free shit? And that's not the question. The question is, what is the company that's going to sponsor you looking for in a sponsored pilot? And the answer at the end of the day is that companies want to sell product, which doesn't mean that they are all sort of cutthroat capitalist, dollars are the only thing that matters. But at the end of the day, they do want to sell product. So how does that translate? I think that, number one, use the product. Number two, like the product. The best way to get sponsored is to have a product that you love, to use it, to be visible about using it, to be posting it to your Instagram, to your Facebook, to make YouTube tutorials about it. Basically, act as if you're already a sponsored pilot by promoting and publicizing the product. And if you don't just like lie, you should be sincere. And then do that in such a way that you are visible to the company in question. For example, if you want to get sponsored by Lumineer, be on the Get FPV Facebook group and be like helping, be answering questions, be visible, and you will kind of they'll be like, hey, this guy is always here and he's always answering questions and he's always posting pics of how much he likes our products. Someone will take notice and they'll say, hey, do you want some product? If you don't have at least a certain size following, it's going to be hard to make it worth their while to send you any stuff. Maybe like 1,000. I started getting stuff when I was around 1,000 subs. But that's how you get companies to notice you. What they're looking for is someone who makes their product look good, someone who makes their product visible. If you use the product and you don't ever post about it, you're not doing them any favors. So you want to be visible, you want to be positive, you want to be helpful, you want to reflect well on the brand. Obviously, different brands have different focuses. Some brands are very, very focused on performance. If you want to be a TBS-sponsored pilot, doing something like really badass with TBS gear is a good thing to do. Not every brand is going to like really resonate with that the same way. Yeah. It's honestly not worth it. For the most part, if you have a big enough following, then you can get to the point where maybe just posting some pics or doing, is worth them sending it to you. But especially if you have a smaller following, you basically end up working as a customer service / marketing rep in exchange for parts. If it's worth it to you, go for it. But it can be a lot of work. Anyway. We're coming up on the end of the stream. ToddTube, what's the JBF7 DJI for hex used for? That is in the JBF7 manual. It reconfigures the ports tab to be appropriate for the DJI plug. That's all it is. It is 3 minutes to the end of the stream. Ciati, are you streaming again tonight? I assume you're going on at 10 because you just love streaming. If you are, post a link to that stream, everybody. If you're having a good time and you want to keep it up and you don't mind swearing, then you can go watch Ciati stream. He's going to be doing a Q&A giveaway, and he flew with me. You're going to be talking about it, or you're going to be showing footage? Yeah, so he's going to be going on at 10 right when I go off. And that's going to be in just about 2 minutes. Flex Plexico, the JBF7 is not iNav compatible. So don't freak out about me being stressed about reviews. I go through phases. I go through phases where I'm super excited about all the cool new products that I'm getting, and not because I'm getting the products. I'm just excited that there are cool products out there that I get to tell you about. And I'm like, yes, send them all to me. I will review them all. And then I'm like, oh, no. Because then it takes me like 4 months to work through the backlog, and the whole time I'm stressed. And then I'm like, I'm never reviewing products ever again. Ooh, that one looks interesting. And, there we go. It's all right. It'll be fine. Astro Productions, if your Crossfire TX is powering off randomly, probably the pins are not making good contact. Like the module is not fully locked into the bay. So I mean, I complain, but I'm really lucky to be in a position where if I say I just don't want to review products, I'm gonna make a different kind of video that you guys are still interested. Mostly, let's face it, product reviews pay the bills. I don't know if you know that. Patreon is great. Patreon definitely. Patreon is good. I could definitely be okay just on Patreon, but you do a product review for a hot product, you throw an affiliate link in there, and it really adds up. So there's some pressure to do reviews too. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming out. This was one of the weirder streams of recent times. I I took away someone's moderatorship and then called them out about it on stream. I yelled at one of my patrons and refused to give him a Discord link, and many other super awkward things. Dominic Clifton said he was shutting down SP Racing and quitting quads entirely. That's not true. I made that up. And Ciati posted nudes. Ciati, that was not cool. So thank you guys, and I will see you next week. Oh yeah, Crunked. I also called you out, Crunked. That's true. See, most awkward stream ever. I didn't call you an a-hole. I just said you were not welcome on my server. You're probably a great dude under the right circumstances. Those circumstances are just not my server. So, anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. for the news with JB and Blunty. But that's going to do it for this stream. See you later. Have a good stream, Ciati. Everybody have a great night.